Wassail, wassail all over town. Our toast it is white, our ale it is brown. Our bowl is made from a white maple tree. With a wassailing, we drink to thee. Welcome everybody on this evening. We are here to wassail and to wish you best wishes for the year 2021. And to start our show tonight, we have the one and only Georgina with one of her brilliant poems.
Hello. I'm going to read a poem, original poem by myself. It's called Love and Joy Come to You. Love and joy to ye come, a wassailing we go, door to door singing aloud, bearing gifts from the wassail bowl. Incantations and harmonies promote the harvest yield. Evil spirits, be off with you, the apple tree man will reveal. With a white maple tree bowl we drink to thee, goodwill and good health to all and one. Hearty ale and spicy mead we share until the bowl is done. Peace be your gift and good fortune in everything you do. Love thy neighbour and the wandering soul. May love and joy come to you.
Thank you so much, Georgina. An excellent poem to start us off tonight.
Just come back, yeah.
Hello there, Ava. Hello. If we could ask you to all mute, please, while we do this bit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great honour I welcome the wassailing man himself, Mr. Tom Hughes, to lead our evening. Thank you, Tom.
Well, isn't it lovely to be with you all in this virtual way, and a merry wassail to you all. Now, wherever you are, whether you're muted or not, when we say wassail, the response is wassail back to everybody else. So if I wish you all a wassail.
Wassail!
Wassail.
That's wonderful, wherever you are. So I'm going to begin in a moment with a story that sort of explains what a wassail is. But in that wonderful poem Georgina just read to us, that conveys a lot of the tradition of wassail, and it's an ancient tradition. The words wassail, they mean a few things going through the centuries, but originally in Anglo-Saxon it means be of good health. So it's a well wish. It's like saying a bit more than just saying cheers, but a way of kind of wishing people that they're going to be healthy and prosperous in the future. So it's often associated with this beginning of the year and the turning of the seasons. And this is why we're looking forward to a more positive year and perfect for this situation now. So a wassail means that. Then there was a time in the past when wassail meant, it's what we might call mulled wine today, or sometimes they even had mulled ale or mulled cider. And there was a time when wassail meant that. And then there's another meaning of wassail, which was to go door to door, a bit like carol singing. All of these things being very much winter traditions. So the wassail. But there's a story, and it's quite a well-known story amongst the kind of folk tradition now, and it's of the apple tree man. And I'm going to tell you this tale, but it explains why people should wassail, and also the process that used to be involved in these wassails. Now, there was a farmer, and this farmer, he was an old fella, and he had land that he's accrued and he'd grown it years after years. And so his land that he owned, it stretched farther than the eye could see. He was quite a wealthy chap, that farmer. And he had two sons. Now, of these sons, the older one, well, he was a hard worker. He would be up as soon as the sun had risen, and he worked hard all through the day, and he never did stop. And even then, when the sun had gone down, he would go back into his house and he would carry on preparing all the things he needed for the next day's work. Yes, that was the older brother. The younger brother, though, he was a lazy fella. And he would stay in bed most of the time. He'd get up perhaps to have something to eat, and then he'd just sit about the whole day. But the younger one, well, he was his father's favourite. And so when the time came, as it comes to us all, that the old man died, who did he leave the whole farm to? But his youngest son. And that youngest son, well, he took all that land and the big farmhouse for himself, and all he gave to his older brother was a tumble-down cottage, an orchard with just 2 or 3 apple trees, and a couple of animals. And the animals were these. There was an ox that had gone to anatomy. You could see its bones showing through its skin. And then there was a donkey. And the donkey, well, it was old. It could barely walk. It was just stumbling about there. But this older brother, he didn't complain. Instead, he set to cutting the grass along the lane. And he cut that grass, and he took the grass, and he fed it to the ox. And the ox began to fatten up. And then when he was out on his travels along the lane, he picked from the hedgerow those herbs that would do the donkey some good, and let the donkey eat them. And the donkey began to walk straight and sprightly now. And he set these ox and the donkey to graze in between those trees in his tiny orchard. Well, they got fatter. And what fell out the back of the ox and the donkey, well, that did the apple trees a world of good as well. Well, all of this is very well, but here it was, going through the year towards the winter and then getting closer to Christmas and the turning of the year. And then it came. So the younger brother, he came along to his older brother and he said, you've not forgotten. 'Tis near Christmas, and that is one of the rent days of the year. One of the quarter days when you must pay your rent. You would make sure he had his rent for that tumble-down cottage, even though it was all his older brother had. He came along and said, if you come to me on Christmas Eve, wanting to pay your rent, but come just before midnight, wake me up then I will knock a whole 6pence off your rent. Because I have heard that somewhere round about there is treasure hid. And those animals that you've got, an ox and a donkey, well, they're just those animals there, just the same type that were there at the very first Christmas over in Bethlehem. And people do say that as it turns from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, those animals that were there, they speak. And I think they're going to speak and tell where the treasure is hid. So, brother mine, if you come along, wake me up just before midnight so I can come and listen to where that treasure is hid, then that's the 6pence off your rent. And off then he went like a greedy guzzle bags. Well, here it was. It was Christmas Eve. And into that tiny orchard, who should come but the little cat from the house down the lane? Well, I say a cat. She wasn't much more than a little kitten. And there she was, walking between the trees, looking round, all curious like. And then she passed by the oldest, most ancient tree. And up spoke the apple tree man. You get yourself home. You get yourself home, my dear. This isn't the place for the like of thee. No, come midnight tonight, there's folks gonna come hanging toast in my branches, firing off their guns, bang, bang, through my branches, pouring cider on my roots. No, this ain't the place for the likes of thee. You get yourself home and don't come back here, not till St. Tibb's Eve. Well, little kitten, proper frightened she was, and so she went, and she never did come back, and she didn't know when St. Tibb's Eve was, you see. But there, inside that tumble-down cottage, the older brother was there. He'd taken the last of the cider that he had, and he'd mulled it beside the fire, warming it up, adding a bit of nutmeg, a bit of ginger. And then he took it in a jug out to the apple trees and over the roots of the oldest, most ancient apple tree. He poured that cider. And up spoke the apple tree man. My friend, that's done me the world of good. Now 'tis my turn to do something that'll do you some good. Go inside, fetch a spade, and get digging under this diddly root here, and that'll find something that'll do you so good. So the farmer, off he went. The older brother, he's got his spade, he's gone in between the roots, and he started to dig. And what should he find there but a pot filled to the brim with gold? 'Tis your own, said the apple tree man. 'Tis your own and no one else's. Now take that pot of gold, put it in your own cottage, for it's your own. And don't forget, now you can go to wake your brother. So the older brother, he took his pot of gold, he put it into the cottage, and then he ran down to the younger brother. He knocked on the door. It was near midnight. And out came the younger brother. He pushed past the older brother there. He had no thought of that. He just rushed down to hear what it was that those animals had to say. And as it turned from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, they spoke. And the ox said this: "Hey, you see that young lazy fellow here? He's come to where the treasure is hid." And the donkey replied, "Aye, you won't get it neither, because some fella's already had it." And their words spoken, they were silent again. And so that is the tale of the apple tree man and the story of how and why we wassail. And so if you look after your trees and your animals and indeed each other, then everybody will look after you. A wassail!
Wassail! Thank you for that, Tom. That was a magnificent story. Did you all enjoy that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? I did. And I thought that was great. I'm going to go in my trees after and look for an apple tree to see if I can find a pot of gold. That was brilliant. We'll see more from Tom in a short while. But now I'm going to hand over to somebody that we know as John. But tonight he's under the pseudonym Larry the Lamb. And he's going to sing for us one of his own songs. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Ned. Okay. Yeah, I wrote a song. It started as a poem. It's turned into a song about a tree. Branching out, as they say. Oh, yeah, no. Anyway, it goes like this. It's called Nature's Blessing. Darling love, sleep tonight. Stripped bare of all she wore. She dreams of bright blue skies, of a warm wind's gentle kiss. So hear my love, to bless your ground. I am here, my love. Darling love is asleep tonight, resting in the dark. She's shadow, not illumination, more bone than meets the eye. So hear my love, to bless your ground. I am here, my love. My darling love, she's asleep tonight, but a staring's taking place, stretching yawn in the creeping light. The smell of sweetest spring. So hear my love, to bless your ground. I am here, my love. Through the blossoms she will wear again a dress of purest green, fruits to offer to grateful hands. She dances to the clock strikes 12. So hear my love, to bless your ground. I am here, my love. I'm here.
Wassail, John,
Song
wassail.
about a tree. Hey,
Well done, Larry the Lamb.
John.
It's the first time I've heard a lamb sing, but that was excellent, John. Thank you very much for that, John. Brilliant stuff. Now we've got a treat in store because some of the actors from the studio actors, are going to do a little play, and it's called the Mummers Play. And Tom is kindly going to tell us what it involves and narrate it for us. Is that right, Tom?
Yeah, we can do that. So, yeah, it's a Mummers Play, but I like Mummers. That's quite good. So that's so yeah, the Mummers. The Mummers are kind of actors, and they're a type of actor that goes back about 400 years or so, and they weren't your fancy actors. The Mummers were people who would just get together. There were people from the community and people who would just want to put on a show at special times of the year, and so it's perfect for the Wassail. And in many ways, that's the time when you would get the Mummers coming around. You get them sometimes at Easter, you get them at midsummer, you get them at midwinter, and the stretch from midwinter into the Wassail season, which is now. So these were just all the local folk putting on a show. And in a Mummers Play, there's a few actors. The word mummer, it's derived from an old word meaning disguise or mask. So it's quite good that I've got this on. If I'm going to be narrating this, where I'm speaking to you from at the moment, I'm up in Dumfries, and up here in Scotland, they called the mummers guisers, meaning disguise. It's all the same word. So it's a way of kind of disguising it. Now, we can see our names on here, and that would give it away a little, but there was a purpose to this disguise, because in the past, when people went out performing plays, it wasn't like you could put on a little show like this now. If you were doing that, you might be accused of being a beggar, trying to get something off somebody, and there were quite severe penalties for that. So that's where the disguise part came from. And in these plays, there's normally a hero, a villain, and so the rest of the community watching it, they'd want to have the mummers sometimes. I mean, this would be lovely to have this such thing now, but welcome mummers into their house, and they might go around door to door and put on this show. But as we're doing it in this format here, we are in each other's homes almost. And just as the actors and that would put on a play, well, the audience would respond. They would cheer the hero, hooray! They would boo the villain, boo us. And if anything sad happened, it'd be an ah. So you can all join in with that as we go along. But I'm going to narrate this play. But to start it off, I'm going to begin, or let somebody else begin, because when you went into somebody's house, or even if it was taking place in a tavern or in the street sometimes, and these things you might still come across them from time to time. You need to clear a space. There wasn't a stage, so there would be the responsibility of a character to go in and enter in and clear the space. And so that's how it's going to begin. And I will hand over to our enterer in.
Open the door and let us all in. We hope you favour, we shall win. Gather you fellows within this hall. We have a tale to tell you all, of saintly George of high renown, who fought the dragon and saved the town. And whilst you all are gathered here, before you shall these deeds appear.
Our tale begins some time ago, amid the cold midwinter snow. A fiery dragon came to pillage and set its sights on Widnes village. The folk there met and talked all day. How could they send this beast away? When night time came, they had a plan. They tempt it with a baby lamb. The lamb was tied unto a hedge, some distance from the village edge. The dragon soon came into sight and ate the lamb a single bite. Then was heard a mighty roar. The beast came back, it wanted more. They fed it cows and pigs and hens, and all the sheep from in their pens. It even ate the village bull, but still this dragon wasn't full. The wise men of the village thought our fairest maiden should be brought. To satisfy this dragon's need, this girl will be a feast indeed. They tied the damsel to a stake. Her lips did tremble, her knees did quake. In spite of all her woes and fear, she said the words you now shall hear. And I'll be the maiden. My beauty has become a curse, a dragon's dinner or something worse. Is there no hero who can impress and save this damsel in distress? With luck, St. George was riding by. He heard the maiden's mournful cry, and as the beast drew ever near, hang on, that's the same one. He said the word you now shall hear.
I am St. George, that noble knight, who shed his blood for England's right. But here's a trick I learned in France. I'll spear the dragon with my lance.
Hang on, spear the dragon with my lance. The dragon, I had to think then, the dragon did begin to sob.
But eating people is just my job. St. George, if you put down that spear, I'll gladly take up a new career.
Now the saint was softened by the plea, and to this request he did agree. And the damsel led the beast away and took it home with her to stay. And everyone she ever met would marvel at her dragon pet. And so, the end. Our play is done. Please thank these players, everyone.
Wassail, everybody. Well done, players.
Wassail.
Give them a round of applause. Wassail.
Wassail.
That was fantastic. George and a dragon. Whoa. Took me back along. I'm sure there's a dragon in my woods, I think. Now, we have got, hopefully, on the line, have we, Lou?
Yes, I'm here with Rich. Can you hear Rich?
Yes, I can.
There. Can you hear Rich, everybody?
Yes, we can. So Rich has got a lovely story for us all to listen to. And he's also got a book out, if you want to buy his book. Richie.
Thanks, Ned. Come with me, and I'll tell you a tale so dark you'll wish your toes really could curl. We start at the top and work down. Picture this: a savage, ravaged winter scene, filthy rain melting down from a grey, desolate sky, speckled with stinking dark that looms ever darker, even as we look. A naked, that is to say, leafless, fruitless tree stands alone. Its silhouette branches raked up to the sky as if begging for mercy from the unforgiving elements. The leaves and apples it once held aloft so lovingly now lie rotting and rot at its feet, sinking a swamp of mud. Tree and leaf, leaf and tree, neither one knowing which the orphan, which the grieving parents, each as trapped as the other in our tearful eyes. This tree stands bereft in a field that once upon a time ago was bathed in a sunshine sea of golden grain, heads swayed by the gallop breezes of spring and summer. Now it stretches forth, a barren wilderness, heavens can only weep upon. Every elegant stem, now a trampled stalk, bowed down in its own crushing, remorseless solitude. You see, people like locusts came with flashing blades, marauding, rampaging into this idyllic place and slashed the wheat, the corn and the rye, down right where it had once stood in dancing, playful majesty. They crushed and ground it into smithereens. Oh, what murder was here committed! Then it was cast into a roaring furnace. Imagine an apple turning on the branch. One wind falls to the earth below for worms to enjoy. Look with one eye, see with the other. The wheel continues to turn. And now, a moment of truth. There is no need for sadness. The naked was not bereft. It was calm and resting, feeding on the life, the leaf, the light it gave in order to grow again and give new life. The wheat, the corn and rye were not slaughtered as innocents. They grew with their faces turned to the sun, aspiring to their own renewal. The blades were scythes, and the furnace fell. That was an oven which turned it into bread. Bread which suffered the flames once more, and now we have toast. Are you crying for the apples? The worms are fat now and digging holes in the soil for the earth to breathe through. The other apples were plucked, pummeled, poked, mashed, squeezed, and pressed, and lo! Apple becomes cider. Your sunlit summers, moonlit autumns, and yes, the cold, cold, unlit winters. Here and now is always the time and place to celebrate them all. Shush now, listen. And you can hear spring is bounding, galloping towards us with ears full of corn and the apple blossom that nods soft and gently to all the fat below. A toast to us all. I wish you each this and many another Happy New Year. Wassail!
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 Fabulous, Rich. Thank you.
Absolutely amazing, Rich. You do realise I'm here on my own in this wood, Rich, and you now made me terrified. I'm never going to look at an apple in the same way again. Oh, dear me. Right, over now to the Green Man, a.k.a. our Meg, who's going to recite a poem for us. And then after the poem, she's going to introduce us to a film from last year's parade, accompanied musically by our one and only Mr. James Swift. So sit back, relax, and have a listen. Take it away, Meg.
Breathing new life into all I can, the guardian of the forest, I am the green man. In every flower, bud and seed, tiny insect, toadstool and leaf. My energy vibrant surges almighty, intertwined with the forest, sprawled like ivy, welcoming spring to the cold bare land. Nature emerges where I lay my hand. Hear me whisper in the gentle breeze as I awaken the apple trees to encourage a harvest of much plenty, cider for all, not just for the gentry. Man shall dance merry around the roots, celebrating every berry, leaf and fruit. For I am the forest's heart, the life I bring a work of art. I shall return to you next year in spring. Look for my work when the birds begin to sing. Now I'll return to the old oak tree, where I can the forest oversee. And let's oversee what happened in the previous 2 years as we follow James and his music, beautiful to your ears.
Doing here, Louise?
So now we're doing a bit of a wassail, which is putting our wishes for 2019 on a tree. So we're either writing on an apple or a bit of toast, and we're saying what we wish for, our hopes and dreams for 2019. Now, we can hang it up.
Let's start again. Let's make this new year as good as it can be. Let's start again. Let's start again. Let's start again. Let's make this new year as good as it can be. Let's start again.
Didn't time that one well.
And there we are last year. Well, 2019, 2 years ago. Wassail, everybody, wassail.
Wassail! Oh, it's playing again.
Going again. There we go. Well, that was amazing. There was some familiar faces there I can see in the crowd tonight who came along to our wassail in 2019. Did we do one last year, Lou? We did, yes.
Yeah. You led it, Ned.
I led it. Let's forget about last year. And hope that this year is a lot healthier and better and happier. Now, we're very lucky in the studio to have so many talented people who come along and do all types of things. And one of our ladies now is going to do a poem for us. And she's also got a book for sale. So I hand over to Paula. Take it away, Paula Page.
Evening, everybody. It's my very short poem about wassail. Here we are wassailing in 2021. A year has come, a year has gone, like we have never known. Love and joy have survived, although in our homes we hide. Hope still shines like a beacon bright, so everyone can see. Love and kindness will keep us warm until we can walk free. Let's send out now to one and all a wish for no more doom, and our hopes that next year our wassail won't be via Zoom. Thank you.
Brilliant. Wassail, Paula, wassail.
Wassail.
Brilliant, everybody. Now, what we're going to do, if you notice on my staff, I have got a piece of toast and I've got my apple. And I'm going to invite anybody who's filled theirs in to read them out. My apple, I don't know if you can see it, says, health and happiness be always with you. And simple little message on, sorry, that was my toast. On my apple says love, peace, and happiness. Now I'm going to go across the board and ask if any of the studio people done theirs, or anybody else who's done it, would they like to share it with us? So Louise, what's your one say?
Hello, my apple says, there is room for love, joy and generosity for all. And my toast, I've written in red and I can't read it now, it says, everyone must be valued, everyone must be seen and heard. And that'll be going out to my neighbours on the tree tomorrow.
Yes, brilliant.
That's
Has anybody
it.
else got one who'd like to share it with us? Georgina, what have you got? You're muted, Georgina.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
On my apple, it says, some days are better, some days are worse. Look for the blessing instead of the curse.
Brilliant.
So that's going to go. And on my toast, I've put, wishing you good health, happiness and success in the coming year. Find strength in the friends and family around you.
Excellent, Georgina. Has anybody else got one they'd like to share with us?
Got one on me. It's on my phone now.
That's all right, John. Go on.
Can anyone see that? No, oh, no, it's the wrong one. It's.
Careful now, John.
Anyone see that? It is. Just says pies.
It says pies.
Oh, hang on. Kathy's got it down there. Actually, the written one. Go on, Kathy. There it is.
Hey, I've just eaten an apple pie. Wassail.
Well done, Kathy. Wassail. Wassail.
Covers everything.
Well done,
Pies.
Now, if you'd like a copy of the little apple or the toast, and you haven't got one, if you don't want to make your own, if you email the studio, then the studio will send you one, and then you can cut it out and stick it up. Now, we used to laminate these things, but we decided not to this year because they can naturally rot down. Instead of being plastic in the environment, just let them rot down. So, if
Did
anybody...
our green man have one then?
Sorry, Lou?
Did the green man have a message I saw on the screen?
Oh, sorry, the green man. Sorry, green man.
I did. 1 moment.
It's lost in the leaves.
My message.
If anybody does want one, how do we get in touch with the studio, Lou? Studio.
If you email into the studio witness, no, it's not that at all. It's info@thestudiowitness.org.uk, or you can send a text to 07434 616 267. As if you can remember that, but I can post it later. And you can get some toast and apples with some cereal packets on the back. You know, a bit of colour as well.
And if you could let us know where you put them, you know, on your tree, on your wall, in the garden, in the backyard,
Take
on
a
your
picture
balcony.
of them.
You know, let us know.
Take a picture, send, you know, tag the studio in on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram.
Oh, Paul has got one there. What's Paul got?
Has it been up?
On the apple, I've got be kind to yourself.
Good.
Because that's what we all need to do. And this is an actual piece of toast with a little heart on. So it's more symbolic than words.
I love it. I love
Brilliant.
it. If it had a bit of strawberry jam on, Paula, it'd be even better.
Well, I made it this afternoon, so it might be a bit tough on the old dentures. You know.
I live on my own, it doesn't matter. Green man, I missed yours. Can we have yours again, Meg? Sorry. Good health and better days ahead. Exactly, Meg. It sums up everything, doesn't it? Tom, have you got anything to add to us?
If I haven't got one to hold up, but I will hold up the Wassailing Cup, which in former times we would have shared a drink together, perhaps not so much these days, but here's to joining together in good company in future.
Wassail, Tom, wassail.
Wassail.
Cold tea, nothing like it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've not finished. We've got another talented lady to come on, and it's our Colette, and she's going to share with us a poem. Over to you, Colette Mara.
Here we come, wassailing among the leaves so green. Is how the story does start. Something we can all join in, everyone take part. You can start with a message of hope, good health and joy. A written note for family and friends, for every girl and boy. Hang it on their tree outside for everyone to see. Thoughtful words of kindness, how many smiles there will be. Here we come wassailing among the leaves so green. Very short, but...
Wassail, Colette. Excellent. Well done, Colette. And I've just got to say hello to my little granddaughter, Freya. Hello, Freya. She'll be thinking, what's Grandad doing in his bedroom? But she's eating toast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here tonight and joining in with us in our Wassail celebrations. And I hope that 2021 is a much better year for all of us. We all stay healthy and we all have a great time. And now I'm going to hand you back to Tom, who's got a special treat for us. He's going to play his bagpipes. So, Tom, over to you.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm going to try playing, see how these work over the medium of Zoom. But these are some small pipes. So, as you can see, they're a bit smaller than the kind of famous Highland bagpipes. But there's lots of bagpipes that used to be played right across England as well, long before they got played in Scotland. And they were an instrument very much associated with all these seasonal traditions, including the wassail. So I'm going to play a tune which is it's a wassail tune. This one's actually from Gloucestershire, but it's one of the more famous ones.
Wassail!
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 And I was asked, could I play an extra tune for a very special person here today? So I'm just going to play this now, and you might want to join in. And I'm sure you'll, some of you will be able to work out who this is for.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Jane! Wassail!
Yay!
Happy birthday, Jane!
Happy birthday, Jane. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic night, and we're so pleased that you could join us, the studio actors, Tom Hughes, and everybody else is here, from the youngest of Freya and Ava to the eldest, which is me. God go with you. Have a healthy and pleasant new year, and we hope to see you again next time. Wassail!
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 Wassail! Bye-bye, everybody.
Wassail!
Bye-bye.